It's another interesting edition of the Market Review where we discuss developments in the financial and capital market as they affect the economy. Today, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, how leveraging digital platforms can drive an inclusive Nigerian capital market. It's really, really needed at this time. With me to have this conversation is Mr. Gbite Oduneye, is the CEO of EGM Group. Nice to have you on the show, Mr. Gbite.
Thank you very much for having me, Otto. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you very much. But before we begin the conversation, let's give you some key developments that occurred last week in the capital market. First, the FCMB Group PLC notified the Nigeria Exchange Limited that its pension management subsidiary, FCMB Pensions Limited, had received the relevant regulatory approvals and concluded the acquisition of a 60% stake in ICO Pension Managers. Also last week, Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank PLC declared 300 million naira profit after tax in its second quarter 2021 results unaudited for the period ended June 30, 2021. And also, the Nigeria Exchange Group engaged investors and analysts last week ahead of its planned listing by introduction on the Nigeria Exchange Limited. It was an opportunity for the board and management of the group to provide insights to investors on the setup of its structure and how it plans to carry out its operations ahead. That's for the updates from the market for last week. Now let's get on to the conversation, Mr. Gbite. Very nice to have you once again. And yes, we finally had a very interesting development in the capital market with the Securities and Exchange Commission giving the approval and license the issuance of the first digital sub-broker, which is Chaka. That marks a turning point in the activities of driving digital market services and operations. What's your perspective around the issuance of this first sub-broker license by SEC?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, we should give credit to who credit is due. I think the Securities and Exchange Commission have moved very fast. They've moved swiftly. And the results is they're going to unleash innovation like we haven't seen in the Nigerian markets for a while. As you know, also, we've spoken about this issue for many, many, many years. What they've done now is they've enabled a number of innovators to own their clients, because what existed before did not enable them to own their clients, has enabled a number of innovators to own their clients and really broaden the market. They're going to bring in a massive amount of new people that have never traded on the market. So with this time, I mean, I give a lot of kudos to, of course, a number of the innovators that have secured their licenses. But for once, I would like to, say a big thank you to the Securities and Exchange Commission in the pace in which they've moved and, their contribution to deepening the Nigerian capital markets.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first part you put that this is going to unleash innovation in a remarkable way. I think this is one of the big things that we're looking out for, innovation, because we're in the fourth industrial revolution where technology and innovation is driving economic and social activities. So the capital market should not be left behind. And like you rightly said, innovators deserve commendation. But you are aware, Mr. Gbite, and also you've been involved in engaging the regulator when it rolled out the SEC capital market, the master plan for the fintech industry. I just want to ask you how capital market operators can leverage these digital platforms and woo retail investors, especially the millennials, because of course you've always been saying that we have a huge frontier of millennials. We need to woo them to the market, and analysts have been saying this. Products, strategies must be looking at the millennial market too.
So if you think about it also, if we think about this well, what has happened with this is that we've now found a way to reach, it has been very expensive previously for a number of brokers to acquire new clients, right? Very expensive to come across new clients. Technology makes it extremely cheaper, right? Now, there's something that's important for already the current players in the market. They've got to understand that although technology makes it much easier for us to reach these new clients, like I said, unleash is the right word, because I believe what's going to happen in the Nigerian market is going to be something we've not seen in a while. But the current players that do exist need to understand that it's not just technology for technology's sake. is technology to ensure that you can communicate with your new clientele much better. You can sell them services much better in a language that they would understand. It's not just superimposing what existed before and then letting it all out using technology. This is really building for the customer. And what this would do, I'm sure they would learn with a number of new entries that will enter the market. They would see how it's being done, because we cannot communicate with a number of people that are familiar with engaging with financial services products in a certain way with the old method. But we believe that very, very quickly, a number of the incumbents would see the power of these amazing innovators that have secured these licenses, and they would adjust accordingly. But overall, I think it's going to be fantastic for all of us. And we will gradually move away from the point where we get very, very nervous when the European or the portfolio managers start to move out. We know the play, or how the play has been for the last decade. When things are good, they pump in their money, the markets move up. Mm-hmm. And when things are bad, they remove their money and the markets drop. Mm-hmm. This would, what we're hoping here is to see another 10 to 20 million new accounts trading Nigerian stocks, Nigerian fixed income, ETFs, mutual funds, and that generally effect should the companies that list on the exchange know that there are a number of more investors that would be interested in their products. We're hoping this would help due diligence, because we now know, because so many people are involved in the market, that accountability has to be strong, meaning that SEC would hold these companies to the highest standards. So would the Nigerian Stock Exchange, as well as FMDQ. It's just really good for the ecosystem. We're deepening the ecosystem. We're using technology to deepen the ecosystem. We're able to engage and communicate with people that have never traded within the ecosystem. So all round, I think it is a fantastic time for the Nigerian markets, for the Nigerian Stock Exchange, for FMDQ, NASD, and of course all the brokers and all the players that will be playing within the market. It's really exciting, really exciting.
Really exciting, Gbite. And like you said, imagine, like you rightly said, 10 to 20 million new accounts cut across stocks, ETFs, fixed income market. That would be really remarkable. I mean,
it will be.
That's what we call real financial inclusion.
And that is what I believe a number of these companies are going to do. I mean, we ourselves are putting an application to Tajiri Technologies, which we plan to also offer Nigerian, Ghanaian, South African, UK, US, and Chinese stock. That's within the works. But I think it's a combined effort by all the innovators, by everybody that participates, by the new clientele, by the regulators. It just changes the game. We've been waiting for this for a while. We also have to bear some certain things in mind. So I'm sure we're all aware of the massive interest into United States stocks, UK stocks, Chinese stocks. We're not expecting that to go away. Returns on investment is not a nationalistic thing. Money would go where they think they can get a return. So my point is that although we are doing financial inclusion and we're increasing the amount of participation in the Nigerian exchange, we have to also understand that we're competing with a number of other exchanges globally, because technology has made it easy for anybody to access these things. So it's more than access. Everybody has got a bit to play, meaning accountability, best practices needs to be enforced to give confidence, to give confidence in the market. Because the first bit is getting everybody into the market. If what they see when they get into the market is not something they're familiar with, then they will go with stocks or products that they're more comfortable with. But I can't say it. I can't say it more. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to win extra friends at the Security Exchange Commission. I think we have a fantastic relationship. But I am, no matter how we look at it, it is very impressive. If you remember, not too long ago, I think the last time we spoke was when there was this cryptocurrency ban. And, we were all extremely upset. I mean, I will be honest, I was upset too. And I expressed that when we had conversations with the central bank. But not long after, we saw a number of companies reacting that way. Yes, the Bank of England did not come out and banned cryptocurrencies. But a number of very big high street banks in the United Kingdom stopped people from putting money into cryptocurrency, which means that it's just a very, very difficult subject and arena for all central banks. This is very new. Things are moving much faster than they've anticipated. So saying that, I would like to say that they've done well. We will continue to lobby because, to be fair, these sort of results, a lot is owed to the fantastic lobbyists, people like the FinTech Association of Nigeria, and a couple of organizations that have really come together to try and ensure that this financial inclusion thing, what we've been talking about, for years, actually becomes a reality. And for us that are lovers of capital markets and investments generally, we're extremely excited. It's not a, I suppose we would all compete later on, but for now, it's just a really great thing for everybody to come together to increase the size of the cake, increase participation, and hopefully to generate wealth for Nigerians accordingly.
Okay, I like that. Increase the market size and generate wealth for the country. We'll go on a break, and then when we return, we will continue this very interesting conversation, Mr. Gbite. Welcome back, and if you're joining us, it's been a very interesting conversation around leveraging digital platforms to drive an inclusive Nigerian capital market. And we have Mr. Gbite Oduneye, CEO, EGM Group, that's Eagle Global Markets Group, having this very interesting, mind-blowing, innovative approach to how we can unlock the potentials of the capital market and woo even the millennials to be part of it. Now let's go on to the prospects for digital currency. You touched a bit on it, Mr. Gbite. Now that the Central Bank of Nigeria is also looking at the digital currency, much later, we're looking at the whole framework. What will be the implications for the capital market? As you've always been an advocate too of leveraging blockchain and crowdfunding, SEC has already brought out some framework around issues of crowdfunding. So there's a lot of opportunity in leveraging digital currency, blockchain, and indeed the crowdfunding process to improve market participation.
Well, also it's like I said, it's everything just seems to be exciting. There just seems to be so much happening all at once. We wait for something for so long, and all of a sudden all these exciting things are happening. The effect of blockchain on capital markets. We've heard so much about it, and we are excited about what it would bring. But we've got to be realistic here. Now, these CBDCs, these currency, the digital currencies, it's not just the central bank. A number of countries, China, Britain, the United States, a number of people are looking into this. Now, how it would work, we all still don't know. We're exploring the architecture, the accessibility of it, privacy issues that will exist. But the fact that they're considering it, they're going to start a pilot of some sort in 2021 is important. As to where we go with it, we're not entirely sure. We're not entirely sure as to where we go with cryptocurrencies as they exist. But I think it's very prudent for the central bank to be considering this, to explore what it entails and what it's about. Now, what does it mean for the capital markets, for the country on the overall? Again, I would love to sit here and say it's going to be extremely positive and it's all going to be very exciting. But the truth of the matter is we don't know. if things go the way we hope they should go, it should be fantastic, because it's more, again, blockchain, more accountability, more inclusion. And once there's more accountability, people are more comfortable in investing in the capital market. But what I would say is that it's a brilliant thing for them to be doing. It's not going to hurt in finding out how it would work. And I do believe that they are working in conjunction with some of the brightest Nigerian minds, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, to ensure that we get a situation where, if they are to go ahead with a digital currency, it's something that has been explored and ensured that, because we know with these things, security and privacy is very important. So getting the architecture right with regards to how it would work is imperative for the launch of this currency.
Thank you very much for that insight, Mr. Gbite. I mean, it's very clear that this whole thing is, we need clarity on it, but you mentioned some very important things about driving inclusion, about the issue of privacy, and the need for transparency and accountability. That's very critical if this is going to really work. And some other countries, like you said, are exploring it. So maybe those ones that kick up ahead of Nigeria will also be a learning curve for the country. But let's look at the outlook for the digital platforms and the quest for a more liquid Nigerian capital market. Chaka has already been given this license, so expect to see how many do you project will get additional licenses before the end of the year, and how would this transform the entire landscape?
Another 20, as long as the Security Exchange Commission is open to it. I'm sure there are loads of applications going in now. Probably another 20, 30. They have made, when you have a good look at the digital sub-broker license, it's very similar to the old sub-broker license. Some of the major changes, which is, I'm sure it's important for a number of our great innovators, is the fact that they get to own their clientele. So what is going to happen is, and I don't mean this rudely, because all of us stand on the shoulders of all the great giants that have existed in the Nigerian capital markets. But I believe over the next 6 to 12 months, I think the current incumbents, all the big guys, are going to learn a lot from a number of these digital sub-brokers, and they're going to show exactly how technology should be used to enlighten, educate, and include people into the financial market. So I think it's going to be a situation where the amount of people that are going to apply for the digital sub-broker license is just going to be phenomenal. And I can see no negative to it. It's all positive, because it's all, the costs of explaining the markets to everyone, becomes cheaper. It's easier. We're all working to achieve the same thing. I suppose later on, we would all then compete for clientele. But, it's much nicer competing for a clientele that understands the product, rather than years gone by. It hasn't been the case. And I'm sure you can agree with me. And we can all agree that the current numbers of people that participate in the Nigerian capital market it's way too low. It's horribly low, horribly. It's inexcusable. But what the Security Exchange Commission and a number of the exchanges have done with this digital sub-broker license, and as well as a number of other things, today I would like to say some good things about the Security Exchange Commission, because with the crowdfunding regulation and a number of other regulations, it's quite clear that they've identified technology and this new wave of fintech and startups as a way to really deepen the market. And they've taken us on, they've engaged with us, and they continue to engage with us. And the fact that Chaka Technologies, as well as Cowryrise and Piggyvest and a number of other fantastic companies are going to get these licenses, the whole aim of this is to be able to sell Nigerian, African opportunities to the retail client. So it's a great time. It's a great time to be involved in the sector. It's a great time. We've waited for this for a long time, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah. And for the EGM Group, the EG Markets product is doing really well as a derivative, where we really are looking forward to also, obtaining the broker-dealer license to also play our own role in deepening participation in the capital markets. It's a fantastic time. Fantastic.
Very fantastic time. I'm looking forward to over 20 million accounts.
Yes, I think it's coming. I think between the 10, 20 new operators, I think it's there. I think the numbers are there. Yeah.
So it's all about digital, it's all about inclusion, it's all about privacy, it's all about broadening and deepening the market, making it much liquid, creating that wealth, and of course, transforming the entire market landscape to create opportunities for Nigerian investors. And of course, I believe, I dare say, that we're still on that drive to achieve $1 trillion market capitalization. Who says we can achieve it?
Oh no! I say, and I'm not. I'm realistic. When you have been doing, if your major core of your business has anything to do with Africa or African exchanges, and we've now been doing this probably for about 10, 15 years, over different companies, you've got to be realistic.
Yeah.
You've got to be. It's been difficult. It's been very difficult. We know the cycle. The cycle is the foreign money comes in, the markets go up, the foreign money goes out, and the market goes down. What technology is going to do is, which has been the hardest bit and the most expensive bit, is educating people, right? Educating them. Just imagine a market where 50% of people under the age of 25 have 5,000 naira in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. 5,000 naira. I'm not saying 1 million, not 2 billion, 5,000. Then using education to sell the opportunities that do exist only increases the want in the market.
Yeah.
We have seen in a very short space of time, EG Markets deals in with Forex, and Forex has been massive in Nigeria, massive for years. In a very short space of time, we could see the amount of participation in cryptocurrencies. Yeah. And the reason why, of course, is because the technology made it available. And obviously, it's exciting. So now I think it's not going to be organic growth. I think it's going to be supernormal growth with regards to participation. The Nigerian youth are interested in the capital markets. They would show up, they would open accounts. Now, it is important for the regulators, for the brokers, that when they do show up, we show them best practices. Yeah. We educate them. We make it very interesting, because it's not it's not compulsory that they deal in the markets. Then loads of many other opportunities. So it's our job as operators, as regulators, to make it as easy as possible, and education is going to form a very big role. So I have no doubt that they would come to the party. Now it's our job to make sure when they get to the party, the music and the snacks that we're playing keeps them there. And together, I think we would grow, one of the largest exchanges on the planet, period. It's going to take a lot of work. I think we've started in the right step with the digital stockbroker license and a host of other things, with the exchange and the fantastic innovators that crawl on every corner and every high street in Nigeria would do to finally get us to where we need to be.
Definitely. Regulations, the operators, innovation, and achieving inclusion and a deepened, liquid, vibrant markets. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Gbite Oduneye. Indeed, interesting times ahead if everything works and aligns. CEO, EGM Group, otherwise known as Eagle Global Markets Group. Thank you for the time to have these interesting conversations on how leveraging digital platforms can achieve financial inclusion to the capital market. Thank you once again for the time.
Thank you very much for having me on. So have a fantastic day. Cheers.
Thank you. And that'll be all for this edition of the Market Review. If you want to ask a question or send a comment or express your views around our conversation today around leveraging digital platforms to drive an inclusive Nigerian capital market, send your views and comments or questions to otuabasi.abasekong@proshenji.com, displayed on the screen. Also, you can follow our social media platforms that are displayed on the screen for further updates and details around developments in the market. If you want to get further developments and news stories, you can also log on to our website, www.proshenji.com. Click on the right hand of the bar, you check for capital markets, and you get all the latest news and stories and developments in the Nigerian capital market space. Thank you for being part of the program today, and don't forget to stay safe this period. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.